Hello and welcome to your midweek full moon messages. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of February, 2022. So let's see what messages we have for today. Any guidance that came up when I said guidance? And anything else we need to know that came up when I said anything else we need to know? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. Anything else? Nope, that feels like it. So let's dive straight in. We've got 4 cards today. So the first one, the Magician. And this is what we have to come back to all the time. Whenever making decisions, whenever trying to follow your heart, whenever trying to do the right thing, whenever listening to other people, whenever looking at what comes up online, if you're on social media and stuff is coming into your attention, this is a really important point, I think. I am seeing that people are still getting irritated by things they see on a screen. 2 things there. The first one is we all know about CGI. We do not have to believe everything we see on a screen. If I was you, I would be very skeptical of everything I saw on a screen. I mean, don't mistrust it, because that might be a negative energy, but don't assume that everything's true, right? Because we know that CGI can create anything. We know that Photoshop can create anything. We know that anybody can create anything that looks like anything. Right, so that's on like a 3D level. Okay, so let's just stop getting wound up by anything that we see on a screen. Okay, I think the real lesson that we're having this year is to bring everything back into your natural environment. Okay, I'm not poo-pooing screens, obviously you're looking at one now, but it's that emotional thing. It's that, what I want to say from a quantum perspective, it's entangling with the lower frequencies. Why do that? Why do that when you can soothe your soul by entangling with higher frequencies, which you can also find on a screen? So I'm not anti-screen here. I'm just aware that there is so much stuff coming into our attention. He's reminding me, the second point that I want to make about that is that you are the creator of your own reality, right? We need to come back to this all the time. From a quantum perspective, there is only you. The whole thing's an illusion, the whole thing's a game, and you are creating everything. And you are creating it for your own benefit. And some things, we've talked about this before, the adversity that we've experienced in our life, we've had co-creators, haven't we? People that have helped us create adversity. We might have looked at them unfavorably in the past, but now, if you've seen my understanding triggers and path to forgiveness videos, we look at them with love and gratitude, right? So there's been co-creators helping us wake up to who we really are, and understanding that life, all of life, is about you and your relationship with you and your self-realization, coming into realization of who you really are, okay, and how you create, how you are the creator of your own reality. So you are creating everything. So even these things that are triggering you, obviously you're creating them as well on some level, whether it be to work through the emotions that are coming up, or whether it be for you to learn, you know, that doesn't make me feel good, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do what's over here. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. I come back to this all the time. Yes, we are seeking the truth. Yes, we are seeking the truth with a capital T. Of course we are. But what's bigger than the truth outside there is the truth inside you. That's the truth you're seeking. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, because he's telling me to remind you that you are the creator. You've got all the elements here. You know, we have the water, the earth, the fire, and the air, and all that abundance and harvest that comes from alchemizing. It's about alchemizing those lower frequencies, looking at them with love and compassion, understanding how they're serving us, understanding how things you're perceiving as negative are actually waking people up. Okay, now, and the things that were negative, perceived negative in your life, were also waking you up. Okay, but we don't need to keep focusing on that. We can look forward, you know, and start creating what we choose to create, because you're creating in every now moment, depending on where your attention goes. So I'm not saying we don't need to know what's going on in the world. Of course, we need to know what's going on in the world, but we can look, understand why it's happening. It's happening for the purpose of waking humanity up to the truth inside each and every one of us. But once you've woken up to the truth inside who you really are, then start using that natural, you know, truth and ability to create heaven on earth. That is the whole point of accessing higher levels of consciousness, so that we can bring the higher levels of consciousness down into the physical experience. That's heaven on earth. Okay, but it starts with you and only you, because there is only you. And it starts with you understanding that your frequency is creating everything. Your frequency is everything. So have a look what's going on in the world. Be informed, of course. Knowledge is power and all of that. But then understand why it's happening. Because when you understand why it's happening, that's when you can maintain this level of love, understanding, compassion, awareness. That's all of it. And you can choose what you want to create. There is only you. You have lots of options. 7 of Cups, lots of options, and they're all heart-based, because they're all emotional, right? They're cups. So they're following your heart. Loads of different ways we can follow our hearts. One of the things I think is important to understand is, gone are the days that we work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We don't do this anymore in the new paradigm. Okay, first of all, work. No, it's play, right? Because you're doing what you love. And we do different things. You know, we can do a bit of this, a bit of that, you know. We do things to raise our frequency, and you might find that some of these choices that you have, some of them will bring in more money than others, but you're not doing them for the money. I am going to do a separate video on money, because it's coming up a lot lately for a lot of people, clients, and it's coming up with the cards a lot. But some of these avenues of self-expression, shall we call them, will bring in more money than others. Some of them might bring in more joy than others. But as long as they bring in joy of some sort, as long as they are inspiring you and they are exciting you, don't focus on how much money they're bringing in. Okay, just be reassured that the ones that raise your frequency are the ones that are creating your future. We know that your future lies in your frequency and not in your bank balance. This is what people aren't getting. People are choosing something that doesn't excite them so much because they want the money, they want more money, or this one's more practical on a 3D level. That's not following your heart. Okay, we have to now. It's a now or never. That's how I feel. It's a now or never. Follow your heart. If you do not follow your heart now, you will spend the rest of your life wishing you had. That's a given. That sounds quite harsh, but it's so true. I have to say that. If you don't start following your heart now and doing what you want and doing what you love, doing what you're good at, however scary it is, okay, then you're going to spend the rest of your life wishing you had followed your heart. And a lot of these are heart-based, or most of these are, because they're cups. So these are heart-based directions, different things you can do. And you might not see a financial benefit, but it's not about the financial benefit. It's about raising your frequency, following your moral compass. Okay, and if you keep going, you will find that there are avenues to give you financial security. And she's come up, she's a major arcanic card, she's come up, patience, okay, because it's not about making the money, it's not about doing things for the sake of the outcome. That's what I want to say with this card. It's not about doing things for the sake of the outcome. It's about doing things because you feel inspired, you feel lighthearted about it, you enjoy it, you're good at it, it makes you feel good. It doesn't matter, the outcome doesn't matter. The outcome doesn't matter how much money it makes or how many subscribers it makes. You know, it doesn't matter. These things, numbers don't matter. What matters is the joy coming from within you, because that is your truth with a capital T, coming from within you. That inner joy, that inner peace, that inner harmony, just doing what you love, how you love, where you love, with who you love. Okay, and it might change. Of course, it might change. There's the new dawn. It's doing what you love that is creating your future. It's doing what you love that's creating heaven on earth. It's doing what you love that is raising the frequency of the collective. It's raising the consciousness level of the collective. You owe it to world peace to do what you love. Hey, does that help you? You owe it to world peace to do whatever it is that brings you joy and love and peace and harmony. Okay, and look, here he is, Two of Pentacles. Of course he is, because he's balancing up the money, right? Although I don't always look at Pentacles as money. Fundamentally, it is money, but it's like abundance. So he's saying, yes, but this one's going to bring me in more money, you know, but this one, I feel better with this one. But if I do this one, I'm going to have to tighten my economic belt. Well, yes. Often when we take a leap of faith, we don't have the fool here, but we know that when you take a leap of faith, yeah, maybe you have to tighten your economic belt. But I don't see it like that, of course. I see it as only positive, because I think if you look at your life, you've been spending money on things that you really don't need. This materialism, it's all part of what's going, okay? We've been spending money on things. We've been programmed to think that we've got to keep up with the Joneses. We've got to have a really big house. We've got to have this. We've got to have a flash car. We've got to have jewelry and nothing, whatever. You know, I mean, some of those things you might want, and they might bring you joy. They might nurture your soul. But for a lot of people, maintaining them is stressful. So, you know, I mean, some people, it depends. Everyone's different. You know, third energy centers will be wanting their nice clothes, of course, and they will be nurturing their soul with that. So that's fine. We want to nurture the soul. Okay. And sometimes the more materialism that we have, the more materialistic we are, the more stress comes with that. So it's always about listening to within. So yes, he is weighing up. He's weighing up the pros and cons. And yes, from a financial perspective as well. But it's not about the money. It's about feeling. It's about feeling secure. And the feeling secure comes when you look at it from a higher level of consciousness and you realize that there is only you and that you are creating your reality. Look at your life. You've always had enough money. You've always been able to do the things you needed to do, and you will always be able to. This is where faith comes in. And I think faith comes in. Faith is much easier when you look at it from a higher level of consciousness. Bring it back all the time to the fact that there is only you, and your ascension journey, your evolution, your growth, whatever you want to call it, is about you understanding more about who you are. More about who you are. So let's just bring it back a little bit to the things that might be annoying us on screens, okay? I think a lot of that is just there to learn more about ourselves, okay? There's two different ways that we can learn about ourselves, well, millions of ways that we can learn about ourselves. Self-realization. Okay, it's one of the niyamas of yoga as well. This is where yoga comes, you know, it's much larger, obviously, than just the asanas. That's why they say it's a way of life, because it is a path for spiritual enlightenment. But self-realization is like the svadhyaya of yoga. I probably pronounced that incorrectly. My Sanskrit was never much good. But it is about understanding who you really are. So that isn't just, well, it can include, you know, your galactic family, what energy is dominant within you, but the fact that you are divine love, and the fact that you came here to realize all of that and to do what brings you joy. So this self-realization is everything. It's absolutely all there is. So when you see things that you don't like, that are not similar to you, right? We can learn about ourselves through similarity and through contrast. So I might see something that is completely the opposite to the way I would be. And I saw something this morning, funny enough, you know, about how to discipline, a child, for example. And I read that and I thought to myself, that's not how I would do it. I would do it through love. That's not how I would do it. But I don't have to get angry and stamp my feet. I don't have to, worry about it. I created that. I created that experience of having that in my reality, bringing it to my awareness. I brought that to my own awareness. This is what people don't understand. I create everything. I am the creator of my own experience. So I created that for my own benefit, not to get angry and to entangle, and to start getting frustrated and angry with people that discipline differently to me. No, I created that for the purpose of self-realization, so that I could look at that and go, oh, that's not what I'm like. I discipline through love. I master things, whatever, myself, self-mastery. That's all part of self-realization. And you can do it through love, not through force, not through violence, not through strict discipline, but through love. So basically, I can see the contrast there, and I've learned something about myself. So I can meet somebody who's very different to me, but I don't have to argue with them, because I can just see, observe, and go, okay, I'm not like that. And then I've learned something about myself. And it could be something negative about my perceived negative about myself. It could be anything. But we learn about ourselves when we see contrast with others. I think that's a really important point to remember, because I think when you understand that, you don't entangle and get drawn in to all those lower frequencies. You can just observe it and realize something about yourself. It might be something you want to work on, it might be something you want to change, or it might be something that you like about yourself. It might be something that expands you into more of who you are and confirms who you are, that you are divine being of love and light. And of course, equally, we can learn about ourselves through similarity with others. So you can meet somebody like a soulmate, you can meet them, and like you just click straight away, and then you finish each other's sentences, you're on the same wavelength, you just really are comfortable and relaxed to be who you are in their company. And then you're like, I'm like that, I do that, or I might see something in the yoga community, and I might think, yeah, that's how I view yoga, or something like that. And then I've confirmed, I've self-realized, I've realized something about myself by being similar to somebody outside of me. I have created something outside of me for the purpose of self-realization. Okay, so I've created something that I'm very similar to, so that when I interact with that thing, person, whatever it might be, the energy, I have a feeling of, oh yeah, I'm like that, I do that, I like it that way, I do this way, and they're the same as me. And then we can learn more about ourselves through that similarity. So you can look at something and resonate with it. You're resonating with it and you're like, okay, that's what I'm like. Okay, or you can look at something, not resonate with it, and it's confirmed to you that that's not what you're like. So instead of getting wound up about anything, you just observe, feel that resonance, that contrast, or that similarity, or that resonance or lack of resonance, and then you realize something about yourself. You've learned something about yourself, because you've come here to experience yourself in a certain way. We are all unique. And that's what this full moon in Leo is all about. It's about authenticity again. It's about letting that inner you roar out of you, basically, unashamedly. Okay? And it's easier to do when you realize that there is nobody else. There is only you. And the only thing holding you back are limiting beliefs. And naysayers outside of you are just reflecting your own self-doubt back to you. When you know all of that, and you can see it from that level of consciousness, what is holding you back? What is holding you back? Nothing, right? There isn't anything holding you back apart from you. So I'm going to love you and leave you on that note. There's nothing holding you back. There is only you. Okay? And everything outside of you is to help you understand more of who you are. So don't lower your frequency and entangle with things that you don't resonate with. Just learn something about yourself. And then move into circles that you do resonate with. If that makes sense. Find out more and more about who you are. Self-realization. That's what it's all about. Okay, so what would help you with that might be taking one of the last 2 spots on my 6-week online Heal Yourself course. It's starting on the 3rd of March, and I've got 2 places left. So if you want one of those, I'll put a link in the description. You can have a look at the details, read the testimonials, and get in touch with me if you have any questions. And also, if you would like a private reading, I will put a link in the description to where you can book your own private reading with me, which please allow far more than an hour. I often get people that the hour comes up and they're like, oh, my time is up. And I'm like, I'm not governed by time. And I talk a lot. So always allow plenty of time if you do book a private session with me. All right. Lots of love to you all. Have a great midweek. See you soon. Bye for now.